The following is a production of the Neighborhood Sports Network. Find us at NSPN.tv.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the debut of the all-new NSPN Prep Update. I'm Ryan Phelps. As you make your way up I-94, you'll find some great football. Moorhead is the only out-state team in Class 6A. Fergus Falls is undefeated and creeping up the 4A rankings. And then there's Alexandria. Their only loss was a Week 1 heartbreaker to then number 1 Chanhassen. Now they face another top team, Elk River. A rematch of last year's 5A Prep Bowl game, but this year an upset in Alexandria. Talon Witt in the second quarter finds Grady Starzl for the 31-yard touchdown pass. It was a happy homecoming for the 10th-ranked Cardinals as they get their revenge on the number 1 team in 5A, Elk River, 52-16. That snaps a 12-game winning streak the Elks had dating back to last year. Other defending champs who have fallen so far this season, Stewartville had a 30-game winning streak snapped back in Week 3, and both Fertile Beltrami and Becker had their 13-game winning streaks snapped back in Week 1. We also have some streak extenders. Minnesota with the longest active winning streak at 37 games. They were big winners on Friday. Jackson County Central and Maple Grove both moved to 17-game winning streaks. The longest ever, that belongs to Stephen Argyle. 76 straight from 2003 through 08. We'll stay in central Minnesota for Kimball at St. Cloud Cathedral, and the Crusaders continue to roll. The senior connection, Henry Schlow to Andrew DeShatis for a 57-yard touchdown. Crusaders win their third straight, 28-0 over now 1-3 Kimball. Cathedral has only given up 16 points in their last 3 games. To the Iron Range, Duluth East at Grand Rapids. The Thunderhawks scored 28 points before the Greyhounds could get on the board. In the third quarter, Jackson Rabbers would run 38 yards for another Grand Rapids score. 49-9 is the final. The Thunderhawks have won 6 straight over the Greyhounds. St. Louis Park at Creighton-Durham Hall. This one was a tale of 2 halves and 2 days. The Orioles dominated early, taking a 17-7 lead into the lightning delay and the half. This was Creighton's only first-half score. Isaac Johnson to Dre Frierson Holly. The Raiders would outscore the Orioles 27-6 in the second half and the second day to win 34-23. CDH has won 3 straight. White Bear Lake at Eastridge. These teams have split their last 2 meetings. With 21 seconds to go in the game, Eastridge clinging to a 7-point lead. Raptors linebacker Owen Grotback bats down the pass to secure the win, 21-14. Raptors have won 3 straight. White Bear falls to 2-2 after starting the season with 2 wins. And down south, Plainview Elgin Millville at Zumbrota Mazeppa. Lightning postponed this game in the third quarter to Saturday, with ZM holding a 15-point lead. Ryan Tessmer with a 19-yard field goal to round out the scoring. Cougars win 38-20. They go to 3-1 and travel to Lake City next week. They say defense wins championships, and that's what they've got down in Pine Island. Heading into the weekend, the Panthers had not given up a single point through 3 games. Their opponent, Winona Cotter, 3-0 for the first time since 2007. Cotter averaged 47 points a game this season, and the Ramblers have a potent offense themselves, scoring 47 a game. Pine Island stayed true to their number 9 ranking and goes to 4-0 on the season with a 42-21 win over Cotter, who is now 3-1. Chanhassen at St. Thomas Academy. Matchup of the number 2 and number 3 teams in Class 5A respectively, and this one was called for lightning in the fourth quarter. Dominic Baez with a 42-yard scamper to tie the storm. STA goes on to win 28-13 to move to 4-0. East at Chaska. This game was deadlocked until the fourth quarter when Chaska exploded for all the points in the game. Matthew Welter 17 yards out to Trey Castilla III, and the Hawks win 28-0. Zimmerman at Fergus Falls. 2 top 10 teams in Class 4A meet for the first time in over a decade. Eston Bethel with a 15-yard end zone pass to Isaiah Holmes. The Otters win this one 27-16 to earn their second straight 4-0 start. LeSueur Henderson at Laverne. Laverne came into the game averaging 46 points per contest, but they would only need 6. At the beginning of the second quarter, Laverne's defense gets a stop. Then Joshua Hansen connects with Darius Dolo for an 80-yard touchdown. 6-0 the final. Laverne also 4-0 in consecutive seasons. Concordia Academy at St. Croix Lutheran. St. Croix snapped a 3-game losing streak to Concordia last year and would dominate this one 36-3. The Crusaders are 4-0 and will be on the road next week at St. Anthony Village. Piers at Albany, number 8 versus number 2 in Class 3A. This was a scoreless affair in the first half. Braden Faust with a rushing TD and a receiving touchdown leads Piers to the mild upset win, 21-14. Dawson Boyd at Springfield. The Class 1A number 2 Tigers scored the first 21 points in the game. Parker Keene found 3 different receivers for touchdowns of 70, 16, and 52 yards to put this one away early. 34-7 is the final. Albert Lee versus Worthington. Albert Lee 3-0 for the first time since 1989. Travels to Worthington and takes care of business. Aiden Gonzalez with a 22-yard screen to Easton Shoe. Tigers win 42-0, but they'll get their toughest test of the season next week, hosting 3-1 Fairmont. Moorhead versus Wayzata. A wild one in Moorhead for homecoming. The winless Trojans gave the Spuds all they could handle. Tied at 21 in the fourth quarter, the Spuds had enough in the tank to outlast Wayzata. Here, Austin Dryberg connects with David Mack for a 30-yard score. 28-27 is the final. Moorhead moves to 3-1 on the year. It's no surprise to see Maple Grove and Minnetonka at the top of the 6A rankings, but nipping at their heels so far this season was Shakopee, until Friday. We start with an upset in the South Suburban as Rosemount defeats Shakopee 17-10. Jerubin rushed for 2 touchdowns on runs of 76 and 29 yards for the Irish. Shakopee was ranked number 4 in 6A. Byron at home taking on Faribault. Senior Carson Heimer rushed for 131 yards and 4 touchdowns on just 8 carries to lead the 9th-ranked Bears. They pitched their first shutout of the season 49-0. They've scored 165 points in their 4 games. Also in Class 4A, ranked 5th, Hermantown. Martin Sleen rushed for 369 yards and 6 touchdowns as the Hawks beat Cloquet 41-21. Spring Lake Park ranked number 5 in Class 5A. They were led by Nolan Roach, who completed 12 of 14 for 227 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Panthers beat Cambridge Isani 42-12. It's trivia time. Which high school has the most Minnesota State volleyball championships? The answer, plus volleyball highlights, when we return.
New journey.
Division 3 straight to Division 1.
New energy. Same standard.
The Tommies have climbed to the peak of the summit.
And your Pioneer Football League champions wear purple and gray.
No limits. Welcome to St. Thomas Athletics.
Support your teams and community with NSPN.TV. Enjoy exclusive coverage from Summer Town Ball to high school championships. Plus, feature stories and podcasts that bring you closer to the action. Stay connected with NSPN.TV, your neighborhood sports network.
Welcome back to the NSPN Prep Update. I'm Ryan Phelps. Which high school has the most Minnesota State volleyball championships? It's Marshall with 9. Their first in 2004, their most recent 2 years ago. After that, 4 schools tied with 7. Robbinsdale Armstrong, Tracy and Tracy Milroy Ballatin, Egan, and Bethlehem Academy. This weekend, NSPN was on hand for the Eagle Invite in Apple Valley. 15 area teams competed over 2 days. Among them, the number 1 ranked team in the state, undefeated Marshall. And they had their hands full. Number 17 Stillwater versus number 1 Marshall. Marshall's Avery Fall with a kill. Tigers win 2-1. Stillwater goes 1-3 in the tournament. Number 23 Wayzata versus number 3 Lakeville North. giant upset. Wayzata's Ellie Asowski with the kill. Wayzata wins 2-0, dealing North just their second loss of the season. Chaska versus number 7 Eastridge. Raptors stumbled in day one, but Savannah Hamilton gets the kill as they beat Chaska 2-0. Eastridge wins 3 times in the tourney. Wayzata versus Apple Valley. The hosts showed up for their tournament. Sophia Cowan with the kill. This 2-0 win earns them a spot in the championship game. Number 4 Lakeville South versus number 1 Marshall. Our resident volleyball expert Andy Gugasberg said this was the best match of the tourney. Romy Klebacek shows off, and South hands Marshall their first loss of the season, 2-0. Cougars punch their ticket to the finals. The third place match with Wayzata and Marshall, and the Tigers rebound. Laura Ricks with the kill. Marshall takes third place with a 2-0 win over Wayzata. To the championship. Host Apple Valley makes it to the finals of their own Eagle Invite for the first time since 2006. But Lakeville South was too much. Romy Klebacek again. Cougars win 2-0. They win all 4 of their matches in the tournament. They are 14-2 on the season. It's not every day that a record is broken. However, at St. Cloud Cathedral, it's become habit. Senior Jacob Oliver did something only 4 other boys in Minnesota State soccer history has done. Justin Barrientos has more.
The numbers are amazing. At the time of these interviews, Oliver had 23 goals this season and 106 for his career. The career total was 3rd all-time for Minnesota boys soccer players, 7 away from securing 2nd place overall, and 28 from becoming the state's all-time leading scorer on the boys' side. It's even more impressive considering there were talented players ahead of Oliver as he rose up the Cathedral depth chart.
And then Jacob kind of thought, well, why not me? You know, he had that mentality. Why not me? I can score these goals. I can get us to the next level. So he took it upon himself, and I think he went on a 6-game string of hat tricks.
And then the record started becoming approachable.
It was like during that stretch where I had 7 hat tricks in a row, it was kind of towards the end of that where it was like, oh, this is like this single season goals record was coming into question, and it was like, okay, here we go. And then like after last season ended, it was like we started to add them up, and then it's like, oh, well, there's a chance here.
You know, he scores a few goals, finally gets the record for Cathedral, and it was like another day for him. He just wants to bring the guys with him. You know, it's a big deal, but I think he's like, all right, enough of the pageantry.
There is some pageantry that Oliver would accept, a state title.
I think this team has a chance to go really deep. I think we have a lot of good players that know their role and they play their role really well. We've got everything ready to go deep into this playoff run.
In St. Cloud, Justin Barrientos, NSPN.TV.
Thank you, JB. We discovered along the way that Oliver's supporting cast has a lot in common. Many are related. There are 12 siblings on the St. Cloud Cathedral boys team to go along with 15 on the girls squad. But the Lesnows lead the way. They have 7 kids, 6 are soccer players, with 3 per team.
Yeah, you know what they're going to do before they do it. And with teammates, you always have to guess what they're going to do. Sometimes you know, but siblings, you mostly know what they're going to do.
I never knew when Natalie and I started playing soccer that all of our siblings would be following in our footsteps.
It's definitely a lot different than any of our other schools that we've been at or any of our other teams where it's just been a single person. But it's kind of fun because they can grow closer, and I don't know, it's they can point out different things about people that no one would know otherwise. I don't know, the sibling dynamic just creates one huge family.
St. Cloud Cathedral ranked number 3 in Class 1A, hosting Little Falls. Jacob Oliver getting his 3rd goal of the game. That is goal 112 of his career, tying him with Little Falls graduate Grant Bell for 2nd most all-time in the state. Tonight's goalkeeper for Little Falls, Grant Bell's nephew, Isaac Bell. Cathedral wins 6-2. Hill Murray girls soccer hosting Hastings. Scoring is great, but saves help earn wins. 8th grader Ashley Wilson with a diving stop to protect the clean sheet. Pioneers win 3-0. Wilson is a big-time basketball player too, with numerous Division I offers already. Woodbury boys soccer, winners of 4 straight, look to keep the streak against Irondale. In the second half, Landon Riley goes just under the crossbar to expand the Royal lead. They'd win this one 6-0, giving Coach Josh Engen a win for his birthday. New Prague girls hosting Chaska. Not a lot of scoring in this one. On the free kick, junior Daniela Garita beats the keeper on the left side 20-yard bender. That would tie the match at 1, and it would end in a 1-1 draw. There's still one more segment to go here on the Prep Update. When we return, a look ahead to another great week of high school sports.
There's a new destination for all things Minnesota high school sports. It's called Strib Varsity. It's from the Minnesota Star Tribune, so you know it's trusted. With a deep bench to cover all of Minnesota. We've rebuilt and relaunched our MN Prep hubs and added more sports, stories, streams, stats, scores, schedules. We have it all at Strib Varsity. Subscribe today at startribune.com/stribvarsity.
We are wrapping things up on the Prep Update with a look ahead as we have over 60 games coming up this week on NSPN.TV. On Tuesday, a couple of great boys soccer matches. Woodbury versus Eastridge. Woodbury 6-1-1 on the year. They're ranked number 7 in Class 3A. And Roseville versus Cretin-Durham Hall. CDH undefeated at 6-0-2 in Class 2A. On Wednesday, some volleyball. Number 8, Benilde St. Margaret's taking on Bloomington Jefferson. Thursday, more boys soccer and more Jacob Oliver. It's always a game to watch when he's in it. Cathedral taking on Melrose. The Crusaders rank number 3 in Class 1A. And finally on Friday, it's always tough when perennial power Stillwater comes to town. They travel to Woodbury. That'll do it for our debut of the NSPN Prep Update. We'll be back with more next week. For Hannah, JB, and the rest of the NSPN crew, I'm Ryan Phelps, saying so long from the Neighborhood Sports Network.